Heyward, how are you and where are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm in Nice, France. I just arrived here the other day. Came from America because I got a couple of races in France now.
Excellent. Before we get on to the Portland race and that fantastically fast time and new Welsh record, just a few thoughts on what it's been like in lockdown training out in America for the last 6 months. Really a very different experience to those trying to keep training in Wales. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been challenging. Obviously, you know, the whole lockdown situation wasn't ideal for anybody, but I think like the people who have come out of it on the good side are the people who are able to adapt. And yeah, like the group in itself is amazing. It's super easy when you've got, people to train with every day. And because we live together, we were able to still do sessions together. So that definitely helped out.
Yeah, just give us an idea of who's in your group.
Yeah, so there's actually quite a range of people from the 800 meters up to the 10K marathon. So we've got like Nigel Amos in the 800. The boys I mainly train with are Vince Ciatti and Will Paulson in the 15. And then in the 5 and the 10, you've got Hassie and Pat Tiernan. Yeah, and then you've got on girls as well. You've got like Sally, who's doing the marathon as well.
So yeah, it's obviously really kind of strong, good group to be able to train with, which sounds fantastic. And it's obviously been paying off because you've come out and run that really fast time in Portland. 3:33.9, was that kind of a time that you thought was possible going into the race? I'm sure you were aiming for the Olympic standard, but it's obviously significantly quicker than that.
Yeah, I think that I was in shape to do it. I think it's something that's been kind of like my aim for a while to get into that Olympic standard, but you don't really get many opportunities, so I opened up with a 3:36 and I kind of took the pace on from the front, and I was kind of caught between racing and time trialing. I kind of hesitated a bit, held a bit back, so I knew there was more in there, but this time I kind of knew the objective at the end of the day was I had to get the time. So to be honest, like I don't like saying it because I like racing and that's what I'm about, but I basically just had to time trial because that was the objective. And I almost hung on for the win, but yeah, not quite.
No, well, you obviously got dragged around to a really fast time. Were you aware that with you and your coach talked about things like Welsh records or things? Were you aware that it was going to be a Welsh record if you got that time?
Yeah, I was aware. Like my old PE teacher, Di Griffin, used to say, talk about Neil Horsfield, and say that one day, you could break this Welsh record, etc. But I knew that I was capable of doing it. But to me, records aren't really my goal. My goal is medals. And fast times are great, but when and where is what matters.
Absolutely, and that obviously leads us on perfectly to kind of the GB Olympic Trials race in a few weeks' time, in what is looking like quite a stacked field in the men's 1500. As you said, you got a couple of tune-up races in France before that. Now, without giving too much away, what would your approach be in that race? Would you prefer a really quite quick time or a tactical race with a last lap burner?
Yeah, I think the way that I ran the Portland race shows that I'm capable of front running. You got to be versatile. Like I can run from the front, I can run a fast time, and also previously, like I've done championship races where it's been slow and a burn up, and that suited me. So yeah, I think I'm in a really good place, and I look forward to racing the boys at the champs. Yeah,
and obviously also with the British champs, you've got to get through 2 rounds. It looks like there's going to be heats on the Friday and then a final on the Saturday. Just adds a little bit extra things for you to think about, but I guess you're used to that now from your competitive experiences over the years in junior championships and so on.
Yeah, that's part and parcel of the championships and what comes with it. You can run a fast time and that's great, but can you perform when it matters? Can you get through the rounds? Can you finish in the top 3 to get through heat, etc.? So yeah, that's all factors that are part of the championships.
Excellent. Well, you sound very focused, and you clearly got a good plan and had a good block of training. It's obviously all the best from everyone in Wales for those Olympic trials in a few weeks' time. And then obviously looking beyond that, which I know is pretty quite hard at the moment to look beyond that, but obviously you've got multiple nomination standards now for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham next year. When does that start entering your thinking?
Yeah, the Commonwealth Games is something that is quite special because, you know, it's not often you get the opportunity to represent Wales on like a global stage. So yeah, I definitely would be really, really looking forward to putting on the Welsh vest. And I think, you know, you got to take it as it comes. It's always been part of the plan. You know, so it's a long-term plan, year on year. But obviously, my focus right now is the Olympic trials or the next race.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, you know, obviously all the best for getting to the Olympics, but then sort of, I guess, post track and field season. I know in the past you've loved your cross country. Would cross country be back in your plans as well in the autumn, or are you purely track and field now?
We'll have to see. It's just harder being based out in America, and also the distances is getting further and further now the older I get. So
Yeah.
But I still think, like, I do enjoy cross country. I like the competitive nature of it. I like the fact that, you know, nobody cares about times. No one's saying, oh, I ran X time for this course, etc. It's about competing and who can win, and that's what, you know, this sport's about.